when you're just a pretty face.
Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Don't be scared if you don't fit in. Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lumps on your toes, do not despair. Be like the Raggy Dolls and say I just don't care. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy
are
Dolls.
happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me. Rupert the Roo was bored. He had nothing to do and no one to talk to. Well, no one that he wanted to talk to anyway. Ever since Natasha the Russian doll had come to live in the cottage, she and old Edward had spent hours and hours just chatting with each other about the old days and grown-up things, things of absolutely no interest whatsoever to a young and energetic kangaroo. He sighed a deep sigh. There's only one thing for it, he thought grimly. And moments later, with some biscuits and a banana tied up in a bundle on a stick, he hopped out through the cat flap and was gone, leaving the old teddy bear and the Russian doll still deep in conversation. Meanwhile, the Raggy Dolls had planned to go sailing and were on their way down to the river when they saw Rupert heading towards them. "Hello, Rupert!" called Dotty. "Where are you going?" "Anywhere the fancy takes me," replied Rupert. "I've decided to go hop about." "What on earth is that?" asked Princess. "It's an old Aborigine custom," explained the kangaroo. "Only they call it walkabout. There's nothing like it when you got something on your mind."
"Oh, so what made you want to go hop about then?" said Lucy.
"It does you good to get out amongst it," said Rupert wistfully. "Amongst what?" demanded Sadsack. "The bush, of course," said the kangaroo. "It sort of clears your head." "Which bush?" said Sadsack, completely baffled.
"I think he means the great outdoors," whispered Princess. "That's what they call it, down under, in Australia."
"So, what's on your mind then?" stammered Hi-Fi. "Nothing," said Rupert. "That's the trouble. I'm bored to death." "You just need a change of scene," said Back to Front. "Why don't you come sailing with us?" "Good thinking," said Dotty. In no time at all, the Raggy Dolls led Rupert down to the secret place on the river bank where they kept their boat. "Fair dinkum," said Rupert, very impressed. "I didn't know you had a boat as good as this. It's a beaut." "We found it in the reject bin," explained Back to Front. "The engine didn't work, so we fixed it, and now here it is, good as new."
"It's called the Spirit of Adventure," added Princess.
"All aboard," said Dotty, who liked to be in command. "Aye, aye, Captain," said Rupert eagerly. And before anyone could stop him, he bounced high in the air and landed on the boat, making it sway up and down like a rocking horse. Rupert struggled to keep his balance. "Oh, hey, this is great," he yelled.
"Now let's get one thing straight,"
said Dotty firmly.
"No messing about. Water can be dangerous. Sailing and being silly don't mix."
For the next hour, Rupert the Roo was very subdued. Having to sit still and be sensible was not his idea of fun at all. And the novelty of passing swans and fields of cows had long since worn off. The Raggy Dolls had decided to sail up to the old mill, and while they were quite content to enjoy the fresh air and the peaceful riverside views, the boisterous kangaroo was still horribly bored. He sat right at the front of the boat, staring moodily at the water. He'd shared out his biscuits, and the Raggy Dolls had even let him steer, but he'd been too excited and swerved the boat all over the place. Now, he simply didn't know what to do, except stare into the water. Lucy took pity on him.
"You're not still bored, are you?"
Rupert couldn't resist being sarcastic. Bored? Me? Oh, no. I'm having a great time, wondering whether or not to eat my banana.
Attendez, mes amis, called Claude suddenly. Regardez, up ahead, on the bridge.
The Raggy Dolls looked where Claude was pointing. The boat had turned a bend, and up ahead, on the wall of the stone bridge by the old mill, 2 men were locked together in hand-to-hand combat.
"Struth!"
exclaimed Rupert.
"They've got swords." "They'll kill each other,"
gasped Lucy.
"Quick, lower the sail," said Dotty. "We must keep out of sight."
The Raggy Dolls expertly took down the sails and drifted slowly towards the bridge and the fighting men. Soon they could hear what they were saying.
"You'll never take me alive." "Then so be it." "Ha! If I go, then you go too."
The Raggy Dolls watched in amazement as the men stood on the wall of the bridge and grabbed each other.
"Oh, no," gasped Lucy. "They're going to fall in."
"Cut!" called a voice suddenly. "Hold your positions, quick as you can, Reg."
"Righto, Governor," said another voice. The Raggy Dolls gazed in wonder as another man, dressed exactly like one of the sword fighters, appeared on the bridge and changed places with him.
"Right, clear the shot, please, Justin, love," said the first voice. "Turn over, and action!"
The 2 men on the bridge began fighting again, and then one of them stabbed the other one, and he fell into the river with a mighty splash.
"And cut," said the voice again. "Well done, Reg. Great stunt, thank you. Come out and get dry."
"They're making a film," said Back to Front. "Wow! That explains everything," said Princess with relief.
"This is more like it," said Rupert, no longer bored. "Come on, let's take a closer look."
"All right," said Dotty, "but we'd better be careful."
The Raggy Dolls made their way ashore and, keeping well out of sight, soon discovered a whole TV crew with lights and makeup and cameras all around the old mill. They were making a costume drama.
"Oh, what a beautiful dress," said Lucy when she saw the leading lady.
"And he must be the hero," chuckled Back to Front, pointing to the actor who didn't get wet. "I'm going to get closer," said Rupert. "It's boring being this far away."
"Wait," said Princess. "What if they see you?"
"They won't see me," said the kangaroo. "I know the ways of the bush."
"All right, everyone," called the director. "Positions, please, for the love scene."
The Raggy Dolls watched as the hero and the leading lady made their way onto the bridge. The director called action, and the scene began.
"Rodney! Oh, Rodney! Sir Jasper, is he—"
"Don't worry, Charlotte, my darling. He won't trouble us again."
"Oh, Rodney! Rodney!"
"Charlotte, will you?"
"Oh, yes, Rodney, yes!"
"Cut!"
yelled the director.
"What's that stupid thing doing there?"
The leading lady thought it was quite funny, but the hero was furious. "I'll teach you to ruin my scene," he roared, and he picked poor Rupert up and threw him in the river.
"Oh, you meanie," said the leading lady. "Some poor child must have lost that. It was probably only put there so that they could find it."
"These things should be checked before I have to give my performance,"
said the big-headed actor pompously. Meanwhile, the Raggy Dolls had rushed back to the boat and managed to rescue Rupert. He was soaking wet, but unhurt.
"I thought you said you knew the ways of the bush,"
said Sad Sack. "I must have got a bit too close," he grinned. "But I tell you what, I'm not bored anymore."
"Good," said Dotty. "There's nothing quite so boring as people who are bored."
chuckled Back to Front. "It's good to have you back on board, anyway."
Raggy dolls, dolls like you and me. Raggy dolls, made imperfectly. So if you're not at ease with your knobbly knees and your fingers are all funds, stand on your 2 left feet and join our Raggy Doll chums. 'Cause Raggy dolls are happy just to be. Raggy dolls, dolls like you and me.